Dan Richardson here, and we're continuing to look at the last week of Jesus' life on earth as we prepare our hearts and souls for the celebration of Easter this year. We have just recently read the stories of two accounts of the Last Supper or the Lord's Supper as Jesus is celebrating with his disciples. And its events of that night are recorded in all four Gospels. And the extra information that we're going to look at today is in the book of John. And while they were eating, Jesus washed the disciples' feet. And what a great and impressive thing that would have been for those disciples. And while he was doing that, he said, "You all are clean. You don't need to be bathed." That is, spiritually, you are Christians. But then he said, "But not all of you are clean," because he knew that there was one who was not a Christian. And he had told him that one of them would betray him. And the disciples were looking around at each other, wondering who it was. It's not me, is it? And so Jesus actually identified him, as we find out in John the 13th chapter. It's the one that when I dip this morsel into the cup and I give it to him, then you'll know who it is. And he dipped the bread into the cup, kind of like we would do with chips and salsa. He would dip that bread and he handed it to Judas. Then everybody knew. And so he told Judas, "Go ahead, do it quickly." Now, we realize now after Judas leaves, he goes off to make the arrangements and to set in motion the betrayal and the arrest. Judas has put that into motion. Then Jesus talks to the rest of the disciples and tells them things like, "In my Father's house are many mansions. I'm going to prepare a place for you. You're going to get to go to heaven because I said so." He didn't say that to Judas. Judas didn't hear that part, but the rest of the disciples did, because Judas never was saved. Part of their company, but he never really bought in. So let that be a warning to us that just because people are sitting around us in church doesn't mean that they have ever committed their heart to Christ. And we need to make sure that we've made that commitment and that we tell everyone how important it is to be able to know you're going to heaven. Be blessed.